Everybody knows Devil May Cry, Need for Speed, Gran Turismo, God of War, and another popular PS2 games. But in this video, I gonna speak about two games that I think are very interesting, but curiously there is not so much content about them on the internet. I like these two games so much that I start to interest on the franchise that I'm based off. So I want to make this question: why these games are not so popular? These videos contains spoilers for the games, series, or movies discussed. They also represent personal opinions. If you have a different or similar opinion to the one present in the video, please leave a comment so we can discuss the topic. English isn't my native language. I try my best to speak for you. Remember, the respect and tolerance are very important. These two games came from two franchises that have a lot of in common. On the past, they were so popular, but with the passing of time, they slowly be forgotten. But curiously, they are returning in the present. One of these franchises is Shinobi from Sega. The first game was released in 1987. The other franchise is Space Sheriff. Space Sheriff is like a spin-off from the Super Sentai series. The first series was released in 1982. Shinobi, released on 2002, developed by Overworlds and published by Sega for the platform of the PS2. In a city destroyed by demonic forces, Otsuma, the leader of the clan Oboru, have a cursor sword called Akuhiki. This sword can take the souls of his enemies, but can take the soul of Otsuma too. Otsuma is forced to fight against an evil wizard in a big battle when every victory is a sacrifice. Shinobi is a video game franchise developed by Sega. In the majority of the games, the protagonist is Joe Musashi. On this particular game, Joe Musashi is not the protagonist, but Joe Musashi is the most relevant character in all this franchise. But Joe Musashi appears like a skin on this game. Originally, this game it was developed for the Dreamcast, but sadly the Dreamcast died and Sega stopped making games for the console.
You died too soon. You were young and misunderstood.
And that transformed Sega into a development of software and video games. Overworlds, one of the subdivisions of Sega, was the company who was developed this game. Apparently, this subdivision of Sega have worked in the other Shinobi games, but they are so busy with other games that they never got the chance to end the Shinobi for the Dreamcast. The development of this game started at the finished year of the Sega Saturn. Shinobi was only developed on the PS2 because the team have a deep knowledge of the platform, and they know they didn't have the time to make it for the Xbox and the GameCube. This game is the first one on this franchise that was on 3D. Apart of that, they decided to make it more hack and slash. For me, this game feels so similar to Devil May Cry, and the plot of this game really is not that important. Like I said before, the protagonist on this game is not Joe Musashi, it's Otsuma. He's fighting against the evil wizard, Aled Hiroku. Hiroku sends his evil forces to fight and also have the power of possess and manipulate people. But like I said before, the history of this game is not that relevant because this game is really pure action. I'm gonna say something that maybe not other reviews say it, but this game is hard. It's not crazy hard, but the difficulty is high. This game lies to you in this way. On the first mission, they show you the mechanics, the movement and everything, but when it starts the second mission, something changed. You now have a time limit. Now you have to do it everything right, the movement, the fighting, because the play starts to stall your life if you don't respect the time limit. And that mechanic keeps you alert in all the game. So that reminds you can't make mistakes on this game. Really, you have to do it everything quickly. Because if you start to make mistakes, you start to losing life really fast. On this game, you have various types of bosses, but you need to have in consideration that you need to be precise, because the time limit always remind you can die so easily. On the bad side, we have a platform level, but the platform on this game is horrible, really it's so bad, because the vision is so limited and the move of the camera don't help you to see the other sections. Really, you have a lot of blind spots on all these sections that make this level so hard in a unjustified form. If I have to say bad things about this game is the difficulty and the movement of the camera really is bad. But I think this game is really unique and cool. I really recommend this game. I think this is a good game, has some refreshing elements, the mechanics, the combat, but you need to have in consideration the difficulty of this. It's interesting for me see that nobody talk about this game when I think this game is really good. And curiously, this game have a sequel, but I haven't played yet. And recently we have another Shinobi game called Shinobi Art of Vengeance that I think I'm going to play in the future because looks really cool. And I have to recommend this Shinobi game from 2002, really is a hidden gem. The Space Sheriff Spirits was released on 2006, developed and published by Namco Bandai Games for the platform of the PlayStation 2. The legendary Space Sheriff, Gavan, Sharivan, and Shider are back to fight against the forces of evil who want to destroy the galaxy. Revive her classic battles against the supernatural's enemy, using the combination of powers, bravery, and justice in an epic battle of hero generations. This game is based in a TV series that is a spin-off of the Super Sentai series. What is the Super Sentai? Super Sentai is a Japanese franchise from television and movies that's run from 1975 to 2026. Created by Toei Company. These series are from the genre of Tokusatsu. Tokusatsu is a genre of action, explosion, and superheroes. Curiously, one of the things that defines this genre of action is Spider-Man. Spider-Man is the Toei version of Spider-Man. The creators of this adaptation are Toei. They give it a Spider-Man a Megazord and guns. A lot of things that are using on the Spider-Man ended up defying the identity of the genre. The Super Sentai is a success for Toei, so they make a lot of series in a long period of time. But in some point in 1982, they decided to create the Space Sheriff Gavan. This series have a different focus from the Super Sentai. Try to be more mature, focus more on the sci-fi space aesthetic, and it's only one hero. It's not a team-up like the Super Sentai. This series starred his own subgenre called Metal Hero. The run of this series was from 1982 to 1999. On the 90s, Saban made an adaptation of the Super Sentai, the well-known Power Rangers. And Gavan had a similar fate, but wasn't a success, with VR Troopers, and later with Big Bad Battleballs. Really, these two series flopped so hard. Taking all that in consideration, for me it's weird that in 2006 they decided to create this game. It's strange, but it's a cool concept, really. It's a game so campy that it's awesome. And the other thing to clarify about this game is this game was only released on Japan. On the PS2 era, a lot of games have a location block. Before this game, I don't know nothing about the Metal Hero franchise, but after that, I really start to loving this franchise. On the internet, there is not so much information about this game. Really, nobody talking about it. Some people search and make some videos about the series and the movies, but nobody talk about this PS2 game. Like I mentioned earlier, this is a franchise that was created in 1982 and stopped making seasons in 1999. But surprisingly, after the hiatus of the Super Sentai, Toei decided to make another series of the franchise with a new rebranding and a new aesthetic. This game is an adaptation of the three first seasons of the series. These three seasons have a lot of connection between them. You have recurring characters and recurring themes. I haven't seen yet, but for what it search looks really cool. And the game shows you that connection between seasons. Because you see recurring characters from the first season, Gavan. You see characters and plots from the second season, SHERRIF, and the same happened with the third season, Shider. So the game is really fun. I'm gonna say the game is easy, but it's not super easy. Have a nice difficulty. And this game is campy, really is not a serious game. This game also have clips and pictures of the series. And this game feels so good, really, it's only good vibes. On the bad side, this game is in Japanese. I have to use Google Translator to play because I don't understand anything. And this can be a barrier for some people. I want to be sincere about this, and I didn't find so much information about the development of this game. One of the things I found is the actors of the show are repeating her roles on this game, but really there is not so much information about this game in general. I want to say this game is a really good time, really it's a good game. I see a review of this game that say that this game have a similar combat mechanic like the Arkham games. I am not sure about that because I haven't played the Arkham games, but maybe they share the same mechanic. This game only has the Japanese version, never was released in other regions of the world. I recommend to you see the movies or series of this franchise because when I ended the game I really think, wow, this is really cool. I want to know more about this. So I see some episodes of this franchise of Metal Hero and ended up saying 2011 movie of the Space Sheriff Gavan. And that experience was really cool. I want to comment a curious thing I see on this series, and is in a point of the fight with the enemies, they end up fighting in another dimension with a lot of smoke and rocks. I think this was a decision because they don't have a lot of budget, but something cool that I need to mention is the music. Really, the music on this game is really cool, especially the music on the transformation. Doesn't matter what character is transformed, the music sounds amazing. I don't know how they making this amazing music. Really, it's a piece of art. If you want to try something different, really, this game is a recommendation for that. This game have the same vibes of the PS2 and GameCube games of Godzilla. It's like you still believe this can be people using costume and fighting really have a similar vibe. It's campy but in a cool way. Well, it's time to close this review. If I have to give you a score to 1 to 10 to each game, I will give it a Shinobi. Will have a 7. The difficulty was too much in certain points. And another negative thing is the camera. Really, the camera wasn't good on this game. But I have to recommend it because I think it's a good option if you are bored of playing Devil May Cry and God of War. This is a good option. Now it's the turn for Space Sheriff Spirits. This game is a 9. I really like this game. No, maybe it's a 8.5 because it's in Japanese. If this game wasn't on Japanese only, maybe it's a 9, but you have to use Google Translator to can play and understand what happened on this game. This game needs a mod on English or Spanish to be more enjoyable, but it's a good game. So you can tell me if you know something else about this franchise of these games.
Remember to comment, like, share and subscribe for more videos like this. There is also an Spanish version of this video. I invite you to watch it if you are curious to see this content in another language. That is all for now. Love you all and thanks for your time.